Simple Tales presents They Were Separated by the Stars from Chinese mythology. Long ago, far beyond the clouds and mountains, beyond the reach of kings and empires, there stretched a great celestial river across the heavens. Along its shimmering banks lived a young goddess known as the Weaver Girl. Each day she sat before her enchanted loom, weaving robes from threads of sunlight, moonlight, and drifting clouds. Her beautiful creations painted the skies with colour and brought splendour to the heavens. The gods praised her skill, and the stars themselves seemed to shine brighter because of her work. Yet despite all the beauty surrounding her, the Weaver Girl was lonely. Day after day she worked without pause, while laughter echoed through the heavenly gardens and music drifted through the celestial palaces. She remained at her loom, watching the distant world below.
Far beneath the heavens, on the green fields of earth, lived a humble young cowherd. He was neither rich nor powerful. His days were spent tending cattle beneath the open sky, guiding them through meadows and along quiet streams. Though his life was simple, he possessed a gentle heart and treated every living creature with kindness. Among his cattle was an old ox unlike any other. The wise creature had once belonged to the heavens and possessed knowledge of secrets hidden from ordinary men. One evening, as the sun dipped below the hills, the old ox spoke. The cowherd was startled, but he listened carefully. The ox told him of heavenly maidens who sometimes descended to earth to bathe in a secluded lake hidden among flowering trees. Among them, the ox said, was a goddess whose destiny was intertwined with his own. Though uncertain, the cowherd followed the ox's guidance.
The next morning, he journeyed to the hidden lake. There, among blooming flowers and crystal waters, he saw several heavenly maidens laughing and splashing beneath the sunlight, and among them stood the Weaver Girl. The moment their eyes met, the world seemed to grow still. Neither spoke for a long while, yet something passed between them that needed no words. The Weaver Girl saw kindness and sincerity in the young cowherd. The cowherd saw warmth and gentleness in the goddess before him. When the time came for the heavenly maidens to return to the skies, the Weaver Girl hesitated. Then she made a choice. For the first time in her life, she chose her own happiness. She remained on earth. The Weaver Girl and the cowherd soon fell deeply in love and were married.
Together, they built a simple home surrounded by fields and flowers. The years that followed were filled with joy. They worked side by side, shared their burdens, and celebrated life's blessings together. In time, they welcomed children into their family. For the first time, the Weaver Girl knew a happiness greater than all the treasures of heaven. But far above the earth, her absence had not gone unnoticed. The Queen Mother of Heaven grew angry. A celestial goddess had abandoned her sacred duties. The order of heaven had been disrupted. Such defiance could not be allowed. One day, while the family worked peacefully in the fields, the sky darkened.
heavenly soldiers descended from the clouds. Before the cowherd could react, they seized the weaver girl and carried her back toward the heavens. Her cries echoed across the sky as she was taken farther and farther away. The cowherd was heartbroken. Refusing to abandon the woman he loved, he gathered his children and sought the help of the old ox. The wise creature revealed his final gift. Using a magical hide left behind by the ox, the cowherd and his children rose into the heavens. Across the sky they flew, chasing after the weaver girl. For a moment, it seemed they might reach her. The distance between them grew smaller. The weaver girl stretched out her hand. The cowherd reached for hers.
But before their fingers could touch, the Queen Mother of Heaven intervened. Drawing a golden hairpin from her hair, she swept it across the sky. A brilliant river of stars burst into existence. The celestial river expanded until it became impossible to cross. The weaver girl stood upon one side. The cowherd and their children stood upon the other. The river between them became what we now know as the Milky Way. Separated by the stars, the lovers could only gaze at one another from afar. Days passed, then months, then years. Their sorrow was so great that it moved every bird upon the earth. Thousands upon thousands of magpies gathered from forests, mountains, and valleys. Seeing the pain of the separated lovers, they rose together into the heavens. The birds joined wing to wing, forming a great bridge across the celestial river. The sight was so beautiful that even the Queen Mother was moved. At last, her anger softened. She allowed the weaver girl and the cowherd to cross the bridge and reunite. But only once each year. On the 7th night of the 7th lunar month, the magpies would return to build their bridge across the stars. For one precious night, the lovers could meet again. Then they would part until the following year. And so, the weaver girl and the cowherd remain among the stars even today. The weaver girl is said to shine as the star Vega. The cowherd shines as Altair. Each year, when the night of reunion arrives, the magpies would return to bridge the heavens once more. Their story has endured for centuries because it speaks to something deeply human. Distance may separate hearts, but true devotion can endure across time, hardship, and even the stars themselves. Some bonds are strong enough to survive any distance. Some promises are powerful enough to outlast the heavens. True love is not measured by how often we are together, but by how faithfully we remain connected through every trial and every distance. If you enjoyed this tale, please like, subscribe, and share Simple Tales. There are many more legends waiting.